Hello, hello.
All right, and what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of BB Nation Radio. As always, I'm your host, J-Dub, coming at you live from here on remote, here in the HQ of Backwoods Veterans Media. And as always, joined by my co-host, first off, the lovely, the one and only Miss Sexy Girlfriend, Miss Mariah.
Oh, sexy girlfriend!
And on remote, on location, out in Prime, Tucky, Oregon, our outstanding co-host, our outdoor expert, my fellow U.S. Army veteran and battle buddy, long time, the one, the only, Mr. Dapper Sapper, Jonathan Toll.
Here's Johnny.
The show can wait. I need to look pretty.
And as
freaking pretty today.
By God. And as always, from the Cowboy Technology Studios, doing our broadcasting for us, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the high-tech redneck himself, good old Jaw.
The high-tech redneck.
All right. Also, want to remind you guys to be sure to check out our homepage of backwoodsvets.com, where you can catch up on all the latest and greatest of what's going on in BB Nation, as well as Backwoods Veterans Media, and catch up on all your favorite shows, not just here on BB Nation Radio, but also shows like the Fence Line Country, as well as Friday Night Debauchery, and many more. We got some swag that's going to be coming up, as well as be sure to watch for your tickets for the Rifle 4 G4S that are going to be going on sale here pretty soon. And since you're already here on our YouTube channel, be sure you click the subscribe button and hit the little bell so that way you guys know when we go live right here on BB Nation Radio, as well as when we upload new content exclusively that you can catch only right here on our YouTube channel. Quick shout out right quick to our sponsors. First off, to our friends up at Eric's Armory and ericsarmory.com for our shooting, reloading, and tactical needs, whatever it may be, whether shopping in store or online. Be sure to hit up our friends up at Eric's Armory and ericsarmory.com. And yes, they are still open. Why? Because they are essential. And moving on, We have our good buddy Tim over at Tiny CB Shop in tinycbshop.com, located out of Malala, Oregon. Whether you're looking to get your radio, get a new one, get it installed, get a tune and peak done, or whatever your servicing needs may be, no pun intended there, high tech, because I know that's where you're going to go with it.
He said
Servicing.
Be sure to have our buddy Tim over at tinycbshop.com. Also, be sure to check out all the outstanding programs that we have to offer here on Backwoods Veterans Media. And as of right now, we have one event up on the calendar. We're on the fence whether or not it's still going to proceed on the schedule, but it is our second annual Guitars for Stars. By God, take my word for it. You can take this shit to the bank. It is still going to happen. It's just a matter of whether or not it's going to be on schedule. And that is currently tentatively scheduled for Saturday, May 23rd at the Beaver Creek Saloon. Where they're high tech?
That's Beaver Creek, Oregon on Beaver Creek Road.
Thank you very much. And again,
At the Beaver Creek Saloon.
yeah, that was already said.
Okay.
But
I just
thank
want
you.
to make sure.
Yeah, right.
By the way, Miss Injury Fall says she could use some servicing.
I have no doubt.
No comment.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go into that right now. So, anyhow, but yes, we got some folks checking in the comments right quick. They're high tech. Why don't you go ahead and jump on down the line and see who all we got checking in?
Well, as I just mentioned, we have Miss Injury Fall checking in with us. We have the brand new mama, Miss Kelly Jackson, checking in.
Yes, more on that here in a little bit.
We got
Hello,
Matt
Grandpa.
Matt Crosby's here with us. Hey, brother. We got Richie, the redneck pimp, Osayo, and Miss Mariah's there in the chat comments. And we can't forget Pete Barlow, Mr. G.I. Low. He's hanging out with us tonight.
Very nice.
The Harambe Keeper is fashionably late with his hashtag there. Yes. And we can't forget the Combat Wombat, Miss Jade Lopez is here with us as well.
There you go. So, all right. And I know we probably have more folks watching that just haven't commented in. So, anyhow, thank you guys all for joining. And speaking of which, it is time for our roundtable discussion. And leading us off, I know what we have on the schedule, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. Miss Mariah, how was your week this week?
Oh my goodness, my week was definitely different. Unfortunately, I injured my back on Monday evening again. So I had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off from work, so I stayed home and didn't do a whole lot. Went back to work Friday, and then had a busy weekend for Friday evening, and yesterday and today taking care of the farm, holding down the home fort. So
there you go.
other than that, been spending a little bit of time with Dre Dad. So other than that, kind of staying quiet and close to home.
Nothing wrong with that.
You're staying
after all,
quiet?
it is quarantine season.
How about you, Josh?
Actually, I was going to say, John, what's up with you, brother?
Pass it to Josh, though.
It's all good.
Eh.
John, you're next up in the shoot. What's up, brother?
Weather's nice. Been hiking. Drinking beer. And built a garden fence this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. Looks
Other
good,
than
my
that-
brother.
Other than that, that's about it. Yeah. This weekend spent most of the day Saturday and portion of today helping Katrina and her dad build a fence for our garden out here out in the backyard. So yeah, good times.
Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed.
Pass the buck.
Right? High tech. What's new with you, my brother?
Not a whole hell of a lot new, other than I got me a brand new antenna. New antenna there for the
Yes, you do.
radio. And man, it sure is nice to be able to talk to people and to hear those people talk back to
how
you.
about-
It's pretty neat there.
That is
Well,
pretty
that's
neat.
pretty neat.
It is pretty neat. So JW helped me get that thing all erected there,
Hey.
Andy.
I can't claim full credit for it. Miss Sexy Girlfriend was there helping us out with that.
She definitely had the base of the pole there. So
Yeah, At
So-
least I didn't have to
So
tip like
hold
you
on,
did.
hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
Go ahead, John. I know
So
you're
I
itching.
had the base of Josh's pole while Justin was helping erect it.
And
Yes, and
Josh
Josh
had
had the
full grip on the tip.
Yeah, actually, Justin had 2 hands on the shaft, so
Duly noted. My hands were on the base of Josh's pole. Justin had 2 hands on the shaft, and Josh was gripping the tip. Got
And
it.
Josh was on the roof.
And now he just splatters all over everybody out there.
That must have been pretty moist.
no, it wasn't moist. Well, yesterday was moist, but
That must have been moist.
so
A little bit yesterday.
yeah. So anyway, been able to listen out there, and we were talking to Carl last night. He was coming out of Sandy, and we were hearing him loud and clear, and that was pretty nice. So, yeah, it was pretty damn neat to get that all set up, and now I've got the ability to have the base here at the house, and got the mobile there and the pick me up, and yeah, that's about all. It's real new. It's kind of same old with the rest of it. So
There you go.
how about you,
Oh,
brother?
yeah. Oh, dude, it's been. I am ready for this friggin' quarantine, work from home shit to be done and over with. I mean, trust me, it is not all that it is cracked up to be, because the only thing I want to do now is just bang my head against a desk all day, every day. Because as soon as I get done with that, I turn around and start working on stuff for Backwoods Veterans. But I can say the caveat to that is it's given me plenty of time to get projects around here done, like you said, with getting your new CB antenna up for your base unit. Got mine put up as well, and did that. Got some things moved around. Just trying to help get this stuff reorganized for the potential move date of G4S, which we're still working on as a backup plan. Nothing's official yet. It's just a backup. And, and oh yeah, I forgot. And then Friday, Josh, I believe you have some pictures in the shoot that I uploaded into the drive. At least I think you did. So,
Well, you failed to tell me about that, so I don't have
Don't.
anything prepped up.
okay. Sorry, my apologies for that one. As you know, during pre-production, shenanigans took place that kind of distracted. So, anyhow,
Here,
but no,
I can put a photo kind of up.
No,
don't
don't
do
do
that
it.
way, because it'll screw up the camera.
No, back here.
No, it'll screw up the camera. Just stop it. Josh will
No.
get it put up when he can, or if he can. So on Friday, I got a outstanding message. It is now official. As you see down below there, everyone's been giving me shit since I found out that Miss Kelly Dakota was pregnant with her first baby. Well, guess what? It is now official, because as of Friday afternoon at 3:31 p.m., 9 pounds even, 22 inches long, Alexander James, my first grandkid, has come into the world. So,
Hello, Grandpa.
yeah, I know, right?
Oh my goodness. He is a cute little chunk, by the
And
way.
he is a chunk. Oh my God, it is. All I can say is I feel sorry for Kelly, because she had Alex naturally and everything else. I mean, don't get me wrong, she had the epidural, but it was funny because I talked to her shortly afterwards on the video chat there on Facebook, and I asked her, I was like, "So, how you feeling?" First words out of her mouth, "Exhausted." And then when I found out just exactly how big the baby was, it's like, yeah, I can understand why. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a little over 7 pounds when she was born, but it's funny, it's cool though. So, oh, shut up, Mickey. Papa Dubs is old. I know.
You
Gray's
are
already coming
officially
in.
old now. Like you can be officially called old now, even though you're chronologically not.
Yeah, I know,
Sure.
right?
Hello, Grandpa.
Yeah, I know, right?
And
That's
Mariah,
right.
you should be not wanting that. Whether like I would hold off on getting married because as soon as you tie that knot, Mariah, you are grandma. Grandma.
I keep telling her her new nickname is Mammy Raya.
No.
She's like, no, that is not what it is.
Or like Beer Fest, great Gam Gam. You call it Gam Gam. Gam Gam.
I'm gonna be like Donald Sutherland sitting there in the hospital bed when it's my time to go. Bros, friggin' slap back of
There,
here.
there you go. I stuck it up right over your face.
Well, what's that?
Yep. There he is.
Oh, there we go. That works. Yep, there he is. There's baby Alex. So.
Alexander.
Yep, baby Alexander James. So. Oh my gosh. Yep. Look at that guy. Look at him. He's a chunk. He's super chunk.
I can't wait to get over this quarantine.
Oh, I
shutdown
know.
Stuff so we can go see him.
So I tell you what, though, they are definitely some proud parents, and it's funny because wait till you see the look on Dad's face. Oh my Lord, there he is. There's a proud papa.
Looks so
Kelly's
scared.
other half, Ethan.
He looks so scared holding him.
Ethan.
I'm not gonna drop him.
Yep, and there's Miss Dakota right there with a new bundle of joy. So, congratulations to them on their new baby boy.
I just got a message from her that they got home this afternoon.
Yep, they did just get home this afternoon. So,
that's from her.
what? Anyhow.
So cute, so adorable.
So, oh my God, Mickey, that is awesome. Says Alexander's first word needs to be moist.
Yes.
Moist.
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 Raya's over your
Moist.
face palming like, I hate you guys right now.
Moist.
So,
United States Moistica.
right, home to the Rocky Moisten Range. So,
Moistica.
Now, what did you have for lunch today,
Moistica.
Moist Donald's?
hey, you know what? Not only did he have Moist Donald's for lunch, but he also sat along the Mississippi River for lunch. So that's just how it works.
I think it'd be
Anyhow,
more like
now
the
we're-
Moist Kinsey River, but that's okay.
Ah! Boop. Wait. Oh, yeah. She pulled the headphones off. It's official. She's like, I'm done with you assholes. Anyhow.
Fuck you all.
Oh, there it is. Hey, you know what? You're getting them over on High Tech last week's show. So, anyhow, it is 17 past the hour here on the show, and we need to get things moving right on along. So, what do you say we go and jump into our next segment for the outdoors, shall we?
This outdoor segment is brought to you in part by Eric's Armory. And now, for your outdoor segment host,
Here's Johnny. How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
It is absolutely neat. Welcome, guys. Good evening. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are not sick. Hope you guys are feeling great. I am your co-host, John, and we got a pretty decent spread. Go ahead, jokes. A pretty decent spread for the outdoor segment this evening. First off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at Eric's Armory at ericsarmory.com. Please go check them out. Check out their Facebook page or their Instagram at Eric's Armory, and stand by for hopefully this week at some point in the not too distant future. We will be putting the G4S rifle raffle tickets on sale. So those will be coming out here. They're $15 a pop. You don't have to be present to win this year. And they will go on sale for however long it is until we can have the event, whether we have it on the 23rd as planned right now or later on down the road. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into our first story. So the first story comes to us from outdoornews.com. And this one, I'm sure Snodgrass knows all about this because it's in Missouri. Missouri plans its first elk hunt this fall after herd grows.
Whoop, whoop.
So this is kind of a follow-up, actually, of a story that we did. I think it was last season, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Was it last season or was it beginning of this season?
One or the other. Either way, it's a follow-on, the recent
Right.
follow-on.
Yeah, I'd have to go back into the archives and find it. But anyways, Jefferson City, Missouri, for the first time in its modern history, Missouri will offer elk hunting season later this year with 5 permits drawn in a lottery. So not very many, but it's pretty historical. The Missouri Conservation Commission on Wednesday approved issuing 4 general permits to the public and 1 permit to a qualified landowner. The permits will be issued through a lottery. The first elk season will include an archery portion from October 17th through the 25th and a firearms portion December 12th through the 20th. The 5 permits will be for bull elk and will be valid for both portions. The state's conservation department began restoring elk to Missouri in 2011, and the herd has grown to more than 200, with their range stretching into parts of Carter, Reynolds, and Shannon counties, the department said in a news release. The department has met its goal of having a minimum of 200 animals, and with an annual herd growth rate of at least 10% and a ratio of at least 1 bull per every 4 cow elks, said Aaron Hildreth, an elk and deer biologist. The agency hopes to eventually have 500 elk and will use the hunt to manage herd size and control the herd's range. End of article. Well, that's all fine and dandy, as long as they control predators and don't do like the state of Oregon does and just let predators go wild. So this is pretty historic. It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
I'd be pretty curious to hear actually to hear Snodgrass's take on this. I'm sure he's heard all about it.
Richie's kind of the bigger hunter over there, though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would be more interested in hearing
I
Pimp's
would love to hear
versus
from
Snodgrass.
either Richie or Snodgrass on that. Like that's pretty historic and pretty awesome. And I'd actually see if they'd be putting in for that lottery. I know I certainly would if I was a.
I think Snodgrass only hunts sweet tea.
Gotcha. What do you guys think?
Hell,
on.
yes.
I'm all about them bringing back elk and bringing back the hunts. You know, it's I think it's an important part of of the ecosystem to have those animals there and to have the hunters out there to be able to gather get that meat and fill their freezers. So what did they say? There's like 5. I think they're starting off with like 5 permits or something like that there in Jackson City.
So 4 for general public, 1 for a qualified landowner.
Very nice.
So that'll be good.
It's a start. It's a start.
Absolutely, it's a limited number, and as long as they, like I said at the end of the article, as long as they keep the predator population under control and allow residents to hunt predators, I don't see why they couldn't reach 500 as a herd growth.
Richie says should have waited.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I'm actually interested in hear what he has to say. If he's available, I like to have him buzz in here audio wise, just audio. And
we're not set up for that, bud.
Oh, we can't do an audio in with him?
We're not set up for that, Justin.
Okay, Josh. I was just curious. Anyhow, but no, I'm interested in hearing his take on this. Why he says that we should have waited.
Oh yeah, if you can comment, please comment, Richie. We'd like to know on that one. We all here think that it's obviously an awesome opportunity for you guys. We'd love to know why this should be, why we should be waiting on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, like I was saying, I think it's great that they're repopulating the area and that there is enough herd growth and all that so that they can issue those permits and everything, and hopefully the population continues to grow and thrive, and they're going to be able to issue more permits in the future and everything, give more people that chance. So, yeah,
for sure. Mariah, do you have anything?
Not on this article, no.
You have anything to add to this? You have any thoughts on it?
Come on, girl, you're a hunter.
Yeah. With how much time you spent with OHA, you should definitely have an input on this.
They could have waited for the herds to be bigger, I guess. But, I mean, they're going to do what they want to do. But,
Okay.
5 tags for 200 elk. That's not a...
no, it's not enough. But, yeah, I can see where they're coming from because they have to let the herds get to a certain point. So, I mean, it's good and bad both ways. Good because they're letting the herds grow, but bad because the hunters aren't able to harvest animals.
Well, they're able to. Like I said, it's a very, very low number. They have to start somewhere.
Yeah. That's what I say.
So,
I could go either way, good or bad, because like I said, only having 5 tags lets the population in that herd area grow, where if they issue more tags, the herd couldn't grow.
yeah,
It's sad for the hunters because the people that go out and hunt and harvest for their animals, I guess it could be animals, but for their family, they can't because they didn't get tags.
Oh, like I said, it's a start.
It's somewhere to start. At least they did 5 rather than none.
Exactly. It's the start of that, that game management for that species. So, like I said, it's a good place to start, at least in my opinion. And I think that it's it's going to go up in the future, because you're not causing that huge of a dent in the elk population there, from what they have accomplished so far. And it still allows for maximum herd growth at the same time with allowing people to be able to hunt. Now, 200 head, that's not really that large.
No, it's not.
Of a number statewide. I mean, if really in the whole aspect of things,
especially if you think about the statistics of the repopulation of deer and elk prey, they are 50-50 chance whether they're going to make it or not. So if, say, 100 reproduce, you're lucky if 50 will make it.
Well, it's at least with that, it's a solid rate that they'll start. It's a great opportunity. However, being a bigger herd over a bigger part of the state, that portion of Missouri has more bears, lions, and coyotes. Well, that's true. Those are more natural predators for those. But the biggest ones I would really worry about is more of the coyotes and the friggin'
Cougars.
the mountain cougars.
And
So,
like I said, you have to think about the herd repopulating because your prey animals will only produce 1 offspring a year, maybe very rarely 2. Where your predators, they're producing anywhere from 2 to 4 offspring once to twice a year. So they're producing.
That's where, like I said, effective management of the predator population, unlike what we have here in Oregon, is key.
Yeah, and they're only
fairly certain that. What's that?
They're only putting out the 5 tags.
Right.
To hopefully try, to me, it sounds like they're trying to get the elk population up, which is good because that's the only way they can control it unless they put out the predator tags or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'm fairly certain that Missouri is a little bit more conservative when it comes to, controlling the predator species in their state. Like many things that they have in their state, that I think they're a little bit nicer to the hunting crowd than our state is.
Right.
So, good. I think it's good. Good on them. I think 5 tags is a pretty small amount for. Yes, that's a small herd, 200 elk. I do agree with that, but I think 5 tags, you're not going to notice a whole lot with that. It's going to be pretty.
God.
And it also depends on if they're cow tags or bull tags.
They're all for bull.
I was gonna say they gotta be all bull tags.
If they're all bull tags, then it's not gonna matter too much because one bull can get numerous cows pregnant. Where
Correct. They are bull tags.
Yes, they are all bull tags.
And so they did say in the article that they're looking, or they've achieved a 10% growth rate for the herd, and they have a ratio of 1 bull for every 4 cows, at least 1 bull for every 4 cows. So that's pretty good, I'd say.
Well, a bull can do more than that, though.
I'd say good on them. So.
Yep. Moving right along, good sir.
Yeah. With that, next article comes to us from my home area, from the news. And Justin, thank you for turning me on to this, or actually reminding me that I was already semi looking into this and then forgot, and then you reminded me. Anyways, so this is a pretty short article. Restoring fish populations in the Upper Deschutes River through acclimation. Restoring the fish populations in the Upper Deschutes River. Important steps are being taken this year in an effort to restore salmon and steelhead runs to the Upper Deschutes Basin in this week's Great Outdoors, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so this was actually a video. Our state here in Oregon, and specifically where I live here in Central Oregon, we have, in my opinion, an awesome river, and many other people's opinion, an awesome river, the Deschutes. Whereas a lot of people from out of state like to mispronounce it and call it the Descahutes, because that's how it's spelled.
Willamette.
Yeah.
Like Willamette or Willamette or any of that crap.
Right.
Learn basic English, people. Come on now. Even though Deschutes is French for the shoots, literally. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So the Upper Deschutes, which is kind of more towards the area of Central Oregon that I live in, is the Bend, Redmond area. You don't get a lot of steelhead salmon up towards the Bend section and Sun River section of the Upper Deschutes. And it's been a problem for anglers, obviously, and fishers and fly fishermen and of the like over the last, I don't know how many years. Most of the steelhead kind of stop below Lake Billy Chinook because there's a big dam and a very large reservoir in the way. So from what I gather from reading some of these articles and doing some research into it is they are trying to find a way to naturally get steelhead salmon back into the Upper Deschutes, which I think is phenomenal. I'd love to be able to fly fish the Upper Deschutes for steelhead. That'd be
awesome.
It would be an ultimate dream come true. Being able to do that out in the Three River section out by Sun River, that would be amazing. It's perfect fly fishing river. So, good. This is one thing I will say. Good on the state of Oregon for doing. So, and that's kind of a short article because the last article, well, actually, what do you guys think? First of all, Josh, I'm going to start with you because, whoever wants to have at it.
Everyone's like,
alrighty then.
Go for it, high tech.
Well, it's always good. The state actually for several years now has been really doing a lot of work to try to get up, to get the salmon and steelhead and all those populations, running back up and to eliminate dams that they didn't need and all that. They did some of that over here. This article actually talks about a place where we actually were in October, which is Washou's Creek, and
Yes.
that they were
Indeed.
yeah, they had they've got a smoke acclimation pond over there, so which we didn't happen to see, so I'll have to check that out.
Probably down lower.
Probably.
I'm not entirely, having looked at that, I'm not, I have an idea of where it's at, but I'm not entirely sure, and I don't think you can get there publicly. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, Justin.
It's nice to see restoration projects going on like this. And the thing about it is if they're able to do it where it actually is done on Mother Nature's accord, coming back versus, I'll just flat out put it out there. People have a tendency to fuck up nature. Straight up. I mean, you go ahead and give me the boop, I don't care. But nature. But seriously though, we have a tendency to jack it up, even though the intentions are good and how we go about it is well intended. Excuse me. Somehow, somewhere along the way, it's going to get all jacked up and it's going to be more bureaucratic bullshit and everything else. So, kudos, like you said, I never, ever really say this, but kudos to the state of Oregon, the Fish and Wildlife Department for getting this one right, in my opinion. So I look forward to seeing how well this progresses and what it holds for the future. Because I like John, I would like to get up on the upper Deschutes and actually do some steelhead fishing up there. Just saying.
Right. No, it's it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Mariah.
It'll definitely be interesting to see and just kind of go from there. I mean, there's not a huge thing of why or anything, but like Justin kind of said, it is that people screw things up on the natural side.
For sure. And specifically, like, I'm gonna shit on us Americans for a minute. We are driven by an overwhelming sense of self-righteousness when it comes to things like animals and helping the needy until it hinders us, or until it becomes a burden in our lives, and then we can give a shit less half the time, and that's when things tend to go sideways. But yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you. That's exactly what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll move right on to the last article, which I'm going to shift gears from hunting and fishing into one of my more favorite outdoor sports that I'm quite looking forward to getting back into once I get more healed up, which is coming along actually quite swimmingly. Getting into an article that has to do with rock climbing. I was browsing through one of my climbing sources that I like a lot, which is rockandIce.com. And this article caught my eye just because of the name of the article, which is the best dam climb in America. And I was like, that's going to be interesting. I wonder if that's going to be Yosemite. Is that Waco Tanks? Is that going to be
actually climb the
out
dam?
at Smith Rock? To my never-ending surprise, this article has to do with some climbers back in the day climbing a fucking dam. I shit you not. Damn. I don't.
Damn.
Well, no, because I didn't add any photos, so never mind. Yes. Yeah. So this is a massive concrete dam, and I'm not joking you. These guys climbed a fairly smooth 300-foot high dam in Napa County, California, near the University UC Davis, where these two guys went to school at back in the 70s, I guess. Anyways, I'll read through some of the article here. This article, like I said, is brought to you from rockandIce.com. And so boredom fosters stupidity, which I love the start of this article. It's just amazing. This is typical of rock climbers because they get bored with climbing something, or the fact that they don't have anything to climb. So they find stupid things to climb. Anyways, this article is written by one of the guys that did this too. So we'll get right into it. Boredom fosters stupidity, which goes a long way in explaining why, in my junior year of college, my climbing buddies and I laid siege to the largest unclimbed wall in the county, a 300-foot high dam at the local recreation area. The previous year, my partner, Jeff Vance, and I had given into temptation, dropped out of school to live the holiest of rock climbing meccas, Yosemite Valley, which it absolutely is. We had subsisted on a budget of $25 a month, accompanied by a combination of bandit camping and diet of macaroni and cheese plus breakfast pastries skillfully wooed from the kind-hearted waitress at the Wahi Hotel. Back in school at UC Davis, with any respectable climbing area at least 2 hours drive away, I found it imperative for my sanity to climb anything. Unfortunately, while attempting to satisfy this, Jones, I was arrested by campus police 4 times, with the final apprehension leading to a visit to the chancellor's office, where dude almost basically got kicked out. So I'm going to cut through that shit for a second to move right along with the article. That was when my friend Mike Clark spied a concrete dam on a geology class field trip. This thing is just begging to be climbed, he said. Like, those are the famous last words of most climbers. Dude, bruh, this route just has to be climbed. No, it really doesn't. Anyways,
Hold my beer, watch this shit.
basically, I guarantee you there was beer involved at this in some point. Just like those dudes that Marcus told us about that went over Cheers Falls.
Cheers Falls, yeah.
The other
Right?
year. Dum-dums. Anyways, these guys didn't get hurt, by the way. So that was when my friend, he spied this dam on a geology trip. It wasn't hard to recruit a third member of the team. Jeff, besides being my partner in crime in the previous year's Yosemite adventure, was already trying to ruin my college career by tempting me out of my study sessions and into nighttime raids on university edifices.
This sounds like a Blake Shelton song.
Right? This is the rock climbing version of Playboys of the Southwest World.
Yes.
I had taken a relatively light course load, and that included ancient Roman history, a critical decision since the only time when Mike and Jeff were both free was Wednesday afternoon. Blah 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 blah. Our first reconnaissance of the wall proved promising. First off, the concrete had been held in place by forms made of wood, 1 by 6 footers, which, because they weren't completely flush with each other, offered edges ranging in width from a few millimeters to a quarter inch. Second, the angle of the dam at the bottom was only about 60 degrees, like Glacier Point Apron, a Yosemite haunt last. Although the dam was crackless, we could still drill quarter-inch bolts in the concrete. Unfortunately, it took about 15 minutes to make 1 1/4-inch deep hole. Damn, that's some strong dam. You might think that drilling holes in a structure holding back billions of gallons of water.
Watch out, she's a gusher.
Oh God, these guys. Billions of gallons of water was ill-advised, and such an act would certainly be frowned upon by the local constabulary, but the thing looked climbable, and we lacked common sense. So, armed with a hammer and a drill.
Sounds like a bad night out at the bar for a lot of ladies. I'm just saying.
Right. With the hammer and a drill, Jeff, our best climber, began our adventure, aiming for a maintenance window about 30 feet up. He made a couple of dicey friction moves, fired in a bolt, then high-stepped and mantled onto a 3 by 3 inch ledge. We called it a belay. Pitch 1 was 30 feet and 5.9 difficulty. Not bad for first day. That's ridiculous that it took them all day to do a 30-foot 5.9 pitch, but I mean, they're climbing sheer concrete that's going to be overhung.
They're climbing a dam that's about ready to gush as they're screwing it on the way up. Got it.
That's one way.
Moist.
Anyways, dude drew the short straw for their next effort, which started with a 5.10 friction first, right, heading for a good-looking edge edge and groove about 15 feet up, desperately smearing on glass smooth concrete, which that just sounds terrifying.
Right.
Dude clawed his way onto an edge, only big enough for his right foot, his left foot laying useless on the slab, and tried to calm down enough to contemplate drilling a bolt. Letting go with his left handhold, he grasped the drill and held it to the wall after putting the drill back in the holder. Regained my left hand and released my right handhold, gingerly slipped the hammer out of the holster, and both of them together at the same time. I released my handholds quickly and grabbed the hammer and drill.
Yeah, I was going to listen to this story.
Then just as quickly put them back in their respective holders and re-grasped the rock, concrete. Now for the moment of truth. What?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
What are you
Keep
saying?
going.
No. It's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was talking to the dog that's between my legs right now.
What?
Whoa.
Do tell.
Stop me.
Booty call, booty call, booty call.
There, I can tell you.
I see darkness.
Yeah.
Darkness.
Black lab.
Humping
Anyways,
bears.
now for the moment of truth. I could hold both, but could I actually drill a bolt? I'm going to skip through some of the rest of this and just get to the conclusion. So the conclusion is these dudes climbed the dam.
Damn.
What about this makes me think that the Army Corps of Engineers would have a well, they'd probably fucking shit their pants if somebody was doing this.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah. It's so I wish I should have grabbed some of the pictures on this to put up, but if you guys could see this, some of these pictures, like the first pit or the first half of climbing this dam, they're not climbing vertical. They're at a 60 degree slope essentially, which is not terrible. But the thing is, this dam convexes and then it goes overhung. And this is glass smooth concrete in sections, and they're hanging on to edges that are literally about
Right.
Yay. Like not much to hold on to, which I mean that's a substantial amount of ledge to hold on to, but it's not consistent, and there's no cracks to place natural protection or anything like that. These guys are crazy.
Well, when you are mounting things, it's good to have protection.
Rock protection.
Yeah.
Overhung sounds like something that Miss Injury Fall's looking for.
I mean, Thirsty Fall?
That too.
But yeah, these guys, my hat's off to these guys, and I'm not wearing my hat today, but so I'll just grab it and do this number.
Well, your hat is already off. See, perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So, there, see, my hat's off to these guys. Like, yeah, I can't even imagine what possessed these guys to go, I think I want to climb that fucking dam. That sounds like a pretty good idea right there.
Right.
I don't know. I've done some silly things because I was bored. I'm sure we've all done some silly things because we were bored.
That'll happen.
But this is how people in the outdoor community and people in the action sports community, this is how you further the sport, right?
Yeah.
You look at something, it takes one motivated, ambitious, or bored athlete or hunter or somebody, to look at something and go, that's never been done before. Shit. F it, I'm going to do it, And one of two things happens. Either they succeed or they fail. And, you just keep trying, or I guess worst case scenario is you end up dead. But climbing a dam, yeah, it's pretty hardcore. It's pretty baller.
Definitely. That's, yeah, I don't think I'd be trying that.
Your guys' thoughts?
God damn it. All I can say is that's a lot of mountain. A lot.
It makes,
it's holding back the waterworks.
Pretty simple, doesn't it?
I mean, I'm not even going into it, man. I got nothing right now. I'm just letting it be.
Go ahead.
I think the comments speak alone as itself. They're in the comments section for the story.
I don't even want to know. I haven't even looked at it recently, so
it's up there. We'll just leave it at that.
So
Hey, John,
Big.
you were talking about the Missouri elk.
Uh-huh.
You were talking earlier about those Missouri elk.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to see about getting some firsthand information. My son, one of my sons, and my grandson are avid bow hunters in the state of Missouri. They hunt deer and all that stuff and mountain lion, everything. So,
Humping
hunt with
bears.
bows. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, I'm going to have to get in touch with him and talk to him about this to see how it's affecting some of the hunters there and everything that are really avid hunters.
For sure.
Maybe real interesting to see next week.
Yeah, I'd love to know more information on that for sure.
Exactly. So,
Well,
Yeah.
any other thoughts, you guys?
I'm good. High tech.
Nope. I think I've said all I can say.
You don't want to climb a dam, Josh? You wanna go climb a dam?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, guys. Well, that takes care of your outdoor segment for this episode. Guys, please go hit up Eric's Armory at ericsarmory.com. They are open. They ship to any licensed FFL. They can take care of whatever your shooting, sports, hunting needs are. Go check them out at their Instagram and their Facebook page at Eric's Armory. Guys, be nice. Be patient with them. Please, for the love of God, don't piss your gun dealer off. That's probably about the silliest thing that you could probably do. And with that, I will turn it back over to you, Justin.
All right. It's like pissing off the cook. You know, you don't want that death from within. I'm just saying, you don't ever do that. So, anyhow, now that we're done with that, it is 6:49 out here on the West Coast, and we're going to go ahead and roll up into our next segment, known as Pop's Takes. Hit it there, Josh.
We hope you brought the aloe and sunscreen.
Bullshit.
Because these takes are scorching hot. Now, get ready for some raw,
You want it raw?
gritty, and unfiltered takes from the old man, Don himself.
She can't say the truth because it does makes her look like an idiot. Because that's what she is.
These are Pop's Takes, right here on BB Nation Radio.
Bullshit.
Well, first off, I want to start this next segment off by saying, hey, congratulations to you there, great-great-grandpa.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be, you know, they're giving me shit for being a grandpa now.
Well, you know what? Actually, when you get to this point, it's, you know, it's great knowing that you just want to stick around to see how many more you're going to have. It's just fantastic. She's a beautiful girl, and she's got a beautiful son and a wonderful husband. And, you know, it's a great thing going. And that boy's big. Somebody said he's going to be a guard or something, but I think he's going to be a tackle or something like that. Just
Right.
Just take him down.
We'll see what happens there. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It is funny because last night I was sitting there, you know, messing around on the Squawk Box and shit. And you're like, hey, by the way, I'm warming up for tomorrow night. As you're sitting there freaking drinking your whiskey, watching the news. So what do you got for us this week, old man?
Oh, last night I was so furious. I could not believe the words coming out of that Nancy Pelosi's mouth.
Okay.
She is the most unintelligent person I've ever seen.
Okay, well, what was she going on about?
Well, she's saying that they don't want to give this funding for the small businesses because that's not for the people. And I'm thinking, who else is it for?
Well,
she has no clue. She does not have a clue as to what's going on right now or anything about it. And you know, I heard something the other day, or a couple days ago, just about the same person, one of the senators, and he used my comment.
What, bullshit?
He said she's full of bullshit.
Bullshit.
I heard that. I said, wait a minute, maybe somebody's been watching this show.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
But that's exactly what he said. And I go back and get the tape off the TV one of these days. Maybe I can find it for you. It was just, it was just unbelievable because that's what's going on. They're trying to use everything they're forwarding their agendas, which isn't going to work. And you know it as well as I know it, and the American people know it.
Right.
We all know that this agenda stuff, the Green New Deal and all this, we'd all be out of everything. We'd all be in we're already in the poorhouse now, but
yeah, they'd be helping it right on along, to say the least. So, bless it. I was going to ask you something. This is what happens when we don't really talk very much here lately because of work and everything else, but that's besides the point.
Well,
so
I got to tell you, this has been a good week though, because I was finally able to get out of the house here and do some yard work and work outside. Then I tell you what, by the time the rainy day came along yesterday, I was ready for the break.
I'm sure.
My old bones decided they needed a little bit of rest, but I'm ready to go back at it tomorrow.
I believe it. I believe it. So, well, Pops, I appreciate it. I know it's a short little segment for us this week, but that's what happens when we run over. But thank you as always. I know our fans love having you on live with us and stuff, and becoming a regular part of the show. It means a lot. It really does. So.
Well, it's been really good, and it's kind of fun getting my opinions out there a little bit. But I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of go along with the same thoughts. They just don't want to. They're afraid to voice it sometimes.
And there goes Josh with.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So, all right. Well, hey, you can stick around for a moment. So, all right, Josh, why don't you go ahead and send us into our next segment? We have a clip that we're going to show before we move into our news update here. So, stick around.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Oh.
Well, you maybe do that slideshow thing, so it pushed everything out of order. Hang on. We're getting there.
Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the President, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past, and among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the President as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. This is a term we haven't applied to ourselves in America. But beyond that, the full power of centralized government, this was the very thing the Founding Fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. They also knew, those Founding Fathers, that outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy. Now, we have no better example of this than government's involvement in the farm economy over the last 30 years. Since 1955, the cost of this program has nearly doubled. 1/4 of farming in America is responsible for 85% of the farm surplus. 3/4 of farming is out on the free market and has known a 21% increase in the per capita consumption of all its produce. You see, that 1/4 of farming, that's regulated and controlled by the federal government. In the last 3 years, we've spent $43 in the feed grain program for every dollar bushel of corn we don't grow.
Well, I don't know where the audio just went. That is interesting. Well, I don't know where the audio just went.
Hello?
Okay, well, I guess that must have been it, because it disappeared. Fuck, I don't know.
All right. So anyhow,
Sorry about that.
So all good. So anyhow, the reason why we showed you that clip is, from Ronald Reagan's "Time to Choose" speech, is because that actually leads us into our news story here, and this one comes to us from our friends over American Military News. Gun shop sue Massachusetts over coronavirus closures. And a group of gun owners, gun shop proprietors, and a sportsman's club is suing Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker and Attorney General Maura Healey, alleging that their rights were violated when they were forced to shut down or were prevented from purchasing firearms after the shops were deemed non-essential businesses during the coronavirus pandemic. Leominster lawyer Andrew J. Couture filed the suit in U.S. District Court on April 9th, seeking to allow the businesses to reopen or to permit them access to the relief programs offered by the state for businesses being financially impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, the gun shop owners cannot seek assistance from those programs, Couture said. 90% of these gun shops are small mom-and-pop businesses, Couture said. We are trying to get some immediate relief for them. What happened with the shops was confusing initially. They were deemed essential businesses, Couture explained. Baker, on April 1, said gun shops could open as essential businesses, then reversed that decision shortly after Healey took to social media. She tweeted, gun shops and shooting ranges are not essential businesses during a public emergency. We cannot undermine the safety of our police officers, first responders, and domestic violence victims. Within hours, Baker's list of essential businesses was retooled and gun shops were forced to close. A few stayed open because of the confusion or in defiance, and they made money, Couture said. Gun sales were on the rise as word of the pandemic spread. And, Couture said, people want to protect themselves in the current climate. The virus is going on and police are highly susceptible to becoming infected, he said. If they are quarantined, they can't do their job. If they can't respond or there are delays, what does that mean for the average homeowner? Couture said people who are licensed to carry firearms should have access to gun shops and ranges where they can practice. He said licensed gun owners are some of the most responsible people you'll ever meet. And they're accustomed to social distancing because it's something they routinely practice at the shooting ranges. In the suit, he said that the Federal Department of Homeland Security identified firearms retailers, and shooting ranges as essential under the heading of law enforcement, public safety, and other first responders. Some of the 15 plaintiffs in the suit hail from central Massachusetts, Demelia Firearms and Training in Hubbardston, Magnum Enterprises, doing businesses as Bear Arms in Orange, and the Hardwick Rod and Gun Club in Hardwick have joined the action. Doris Stewart of Athol is also a plaintiff. Couture says she tried to purchase a firearm and couldn't because of the closures. While the case seeks relief for those hurt by the non-essential designation, it's also about Second Amendment issues and civil rights, Couture said. Doris and another plaintiff is being denied her Second Amendment and 14th Amendment rights and Article 17 rights, as governor and AG have substantially infringed on her right to keep and bear arms without providing due process under the law, the suit alleges. Couture said some of the plaintiffs have tried to compromise. Those who teach firearm safety classes wanted to hold these classes online, but were denied. How can you get the virus by printing a certificate from a class you took online, Couture said. The gun shop owners asked whether they might conduct business by appointment, as they do when they are selling firearms to law enforcement personnel, which is allowed, but that plan wasn't acceptable either, Couture said. Couture said essential designation is confusing because while liquor stores are deemed essential, Recreational marijuana shops are not. He noted that Healy was also tweeting that abortions are essential services. Many hospitals are not performing elective surgeries. Couture plans to file an emergency motion Wednesday because some of the business owners can't pay their bills. He's hoping for a video telephone conference to quickly get the matter in front of a federal judge for a ruling to help the plaintiffs. Couture said that he's been told that Baker, a Republican, doesn't care about gun owners, quote unquote, and hasn't pushed back against the Attorney General on gun issues in the past. He said what's happened here is going to bankrupt small businesses, and he wishes Baker, whom he knows, would stand up for the businesses and gun owners. This is the wrong move, Charlie, he said. End of article. Pops, thoughts?
Anybody that tries to keep us from having our arms, especially right now, I can't think of a more important time to have them, because we've got all these people, all these governments are letting all these convicts out of jail.
Oh, there we go. Ding, ding, ding. Ring it up.
They're just, they're letting them out. Well, supposedly they're supposed to be nonviolent. But how about the one that I heard about the other day? They let him out of prison, and the next day he killed somebody.
Yep.
But he's nonviolent. Now, give me a friggin' break.
Exactly. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the kind of things that we're dealing with right now.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier about some of these people, the politicians that aren't politicians, they're just stupid idiots.
Fair enough.
And they try and make everybody think the way they do when they don't even know how to think.
Now let me ask you guys this. Now I'm putting this question up for the good of the group here. Now, do you guys think that this governor just folded to a political power play by the AG, for the state of Massachusetts, or do you think there's something else going on there?
Well, I can tell you what I think.
That's why I'm asking these questions. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I really think that it's a lot of these people want to take our weapons, our guns, all that away from us. Hell, they'd take our pocket knives away from us if they could. And they're just looking for any little means to get in there, to get this stuff taken away from us and do away with our Second Amendment rights. And to me, that is treason. They belong right there in prison up against the wall because it's treason, no matter what you say.
John?
So, okay, I'm going to get on a soapbox for a second.
Do it.
Yeah, so this is so I'm not even going to say this is retarded. I'm not going to say anything like that. This is wrong. Any state, any government, any governor, any state legislature that is moving to ban sales of firearms is wrong. But that also falls in line with my overall view of our stay-at-home orders. If you look around the country right now, you have Michigan protesting. Oregon is starting to protest now. They protested in Salem today. They protested in Redmond yesterday. There was over 300 people that showed up to Redmond City Hall yesterday to protest the stay-at-home orders. I've just heard from my end of things here in Prineville, business owners are about to start giving the finger to Kate Brown and say, fuck you, we don't give a shit about your May 25th.
Because people can't afford it anymore.
They can't afford it. So, on that note, home defense is something critical right now. And the lawsuits are coming. And the thing that really kind of puts this in perspective, if you are a conservative, if you care about your family, if you care about your possessions, your home, your assets that you have, you should own a gun right now. You should know how to use it. You should know how to protect yourself, because I want to give our viewers, and I hate to drag this into political realm, but our country is now $27 trillion in debt. Think about that for a second. And just stay quiet for a second. I want you guys to comprehend that fucking number for a minute. $27 trillion in debt. Okay?
As High Tech would say, that's a lot of blowjobs.
So let me put it this way too. So listening to one of my favorite AM talk show hosts, Dan Bongino, the other day, Argentina was one of the last modern, fairly wealthy countries to go default and go bankrupt as a country. And overnight, you had people that were successful doctors, actors, millionaires that went from being millionaires and wealthy to poor as shit overnight and reduced to petty burglary and theft to survive. If you don't own a gun right now, you're, personally, in my opinion, you're a fucking moron. Because I don't mean to cause hysteria, but our country's in trouble, people.
No, yeah, it is. Hands down.
And if you don't have the ability to protect yourself, you're going to be a victim, period. And governments that are trying to, state and local governments that are trying to ban the sale of firearms over this pandemic, they're not doing it out of any interest to the people or the good of the people. They're doing it to the interest of themselves to hold on to power.
Exactly.
Think about that for a minute.
John, I'll drink to what you just said.
There you go. So
that's all I got. I'm off my soapbox.
Oh, you're good, brother. High Tech, your thoughts?
Yeah, I really don't understand what the hell they're doing over there and how that makes any sense. Yes, we definitely need to be able to protect ourselves. Why they would tell the business that they can operate, then tell them that they can't operate, and then even tell them that they can't do online classes for some stupid reason. I mean, it just sounds like they got a bunch of messed up confusion over there in Mass.
In Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're thinking at all. So hopefully the district judge, finds the proper way and all that. And I mean, hopefully we're, excuse me, hopefully we're getting all the info in this article too,
right.
and maybe they weren't making customers, stay 6 feet apart or whatever. I mean, there could be other circumstances to this whole thing too that we don't know. But overall, in general, I would say that people should be able to to go and get guns and all that kind of stuff if they need to.
Well, see, here's the thing about it too is that it even states it in the first part of the article, where it talks about how when the initial order came out, and because of Homeland Security's Law Enforcement Act and everything else, as far as being able to, keep those firearms retailers and stuff open and things like that as an essential business, which I fully agree they should be open. The order was initially, firearms industry people were not included in that order that the government put out as deemed, or when the governor of Massachusetts put out as a non-essential they were put in as an essential business. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't until the adjutant general of the state decided to put her little 2 cents in because of trying to play the whole, it's domestic violence. You got to keep it out of those guys' hands. Well, that just sounds like a political play by more of these gun grabbing assholes. It's straight up what it is. And then the governor, who, hey, wow, seems an awful like the last Republican governor that Massachusetts had, which goes by the name of Mitt Romney, who is the biggest freaking rhino that is out there. And if you don't know what a rhino
he doesn't even
is,
deserve to be called a rhino. He is a pathetic moron.
Yeah, exactly.
Spineless,
they are Republican
dickless,
and
yellow-bellied
only.
scumbag.
Because they will fold up quicker than shit the second that somebody on the opposing side has a different view and they think it's going to get them more votes. Is exactly what it is. And that is exactly what this current governor of Massachusetts is doing. And frankly, I think it's I think it's a crock. It really is. And from my understanding, the governor has, by all means, the rights to fire said adjutant general.
You mean attorney
He
general?
should be able to, or attorney general. Yeah, thank you, John. Appreciate the correction.
They do have that right.
So, yeah, if they have the power to do it, why not? Because if they're going to sit there and that's exactly what this is. If this attorney general is so quick to jump on people's civil liberties, why would you allow that person to still hold that office? Because I'm sorry, I would want an attorney general that's going to go after, do their job as the lead prosecutor for the state, but at the same time respect the civil liberties that people have as American citizens within this country. That is their job. That is what they're supposed to do. Now, it's if they're going to be going down that road, yeah, they can completely pound sand, in my honest opinion. And I really hope that the governor and the attorney general of the state of Massachusetts both get their asses handed to them over this. I truly do. Mostly the attorney general, but the governor for having the freaking, not having the spine to stand up to the attorney general over this, but for also buckling under, the pressure of somebody that had a different idea of things, because they obviously have no freaking balls to freaking stand up and do what's right.
Well, Justin, you got to remember something. That attorney general is backed up by the liberal media and the liberal.
Oh, you mean George Soros and crew?
Right.
Oh, what?
They're backed up by them, and he's a Democratic governor.
No, he's a Republican governor.
He is? I thought he was.
No, he's a Republican governor.
Yeah, he's afraid of what they're going to do. The head parties or the national parties are going to do if he doesn't back him
again. He's another Mitt Romney, another freaking rhino. Is exactly what he is.
That's right.
So anyhow, well, yeah.
Hold on, I got one last thing to say.
Oh, okay.
Go for it, John.
Dapper Sapper's got one more point.
All of our viewers, I encourage you guys to go to our page and look up some of the posts that have to do with House Bill 5717.
Yes.
You haven't done so already. If you haven't, look at it, and if you're not concerned by it, something's wrong with you. Because this bill has left committee on the House floor and is moving to the Senate. And it is probably one of the most atrocious anti-Second Amendment bills that has ever come to the federal scene. This isn't state. This isn't state by state.
This is at federal level. So this is in your U.S. House of Representatives, has now left the House of Representatives and is on its way to the United States Senate. And I mean, honestly, I think it's DOA, but
doesn't matter. They're trying to sneak it in under the guise of underneath this pandemic, and they're trying. I wouldn't be surprised if Pelosi or somebody tries to sneak it in with the next round of Corona stimulus. It's already being talked about. The other thing, so on a personal note, for our company, Backwoods Veterans Media, we actually have been censored by Facebook over this a couple times now. Myself personally, I've been censored over this. This is whether you want to think this is a tinfoil hat issue or not, people. This is legitimately happening. We got fact checked by a third-party source that is a CNN subsidy. Okay, and then our page got listed as we are fake news, as the president would call it.
Fake news or hate speech
by
or whatever
CNN,
you call it.
essentially. So,
John, you ain't heard nothing today. I was listening to the briefing this afternoon for the president and stuff, and a guy from CNN, the reporter there, the president told him that his brains, he had no brains that he was born with, and basically he told him that the only brains he had was the ones he was sitting on.
Yeah.
And that's a CNN reporter.
Trust me, I know all about CNN like that.
Yep.
They're a bunch of morons. But you guys, this stuff is happening. They're censoring us. They're actively censoring us. They're actively censoring pro-2A and pro-conservative ideals. And it needs to stop. So
hands down. So, all right, guys. Well, with that being said, Pops, thank you once again for sitting in with us this weekend. We do appreciate it.
Been a pleasure. I do like spouting off once in a while.
Oh, hey, you know what? It's always a trip having you on here, old man.
We're all very well aware of that.
You should be.
All right, now we're about 10 minutes up here to the top or bottom of the hour. Need to get Miss Sexy Girlfriend back in here so that way we can hit on with our next segment known as Dummy of the Week.
I'll spell it for you. D-U-M-M-Y.
Shut up, dummy.
You big dummy.
For every man, there's a woman.
And for every dummy, there's a dummy.
And now, your Dummy of the Week on BV Nation Radio.
Hello there.
Welcome back.
Thank you. All right, for your Dummy of the Week, it's brought to you by CNN.
One time they got it right.
The headline, this is actually from April 14th, but the headline reads, a 64-year-old man accidentally ejected himself from a fighter jet at 2,500 feet.
Ejecto Seato, cuz.
You serious right now? Like, I had to take my sunglasses off for this. Like,
Turn his hair.
Are we fucking joking here?
No. This is a legit article.
I'm going to go through this article fairly quickly, guys, since we're short on time. A surprise company outing to an airbase caused a 64-year-old French man so much stress that he flung himself from a fighter jet in midair, grabbing the ejector button in a panic and tumbling through the skies above France before landing in a field. The man had been surprised by employees at his firm who had organized a joyride in a
Dassault
Rafale B jet for him as a treat. But apparently they didn't know their colleagues as well as they thought. Once a man arrived at the Saint-Dizier Air Base in northeastern France in March of 2019 and realized what his coworkers had arranged, he began to feel extremely stressed, according to a fairly remarkable aviation accident report by the French government agency. The unnamed man had never expressed any desire to fly in a fighter jet and had no previous military aviation experience, investigators discovered. And thanks to the watch he was wearing, which could measure his heart rate, investigators noticed that, quote, his heart rate was in full tachycardia before the flight, with a record heart rate ranging from 136 to 142 beats per minute.
Shit!
But the man went through with the ride, joining the 3-plane training exercise as a passenger. The Rafale B is used as a French Air Force and has a maximum speed of nearly 1,400 kilometers per hour, which is 870 miles per hour.
Damn.
When the jet was about 2,500 feet above the ground, the pilot began to climb. The passenger panicked and reached for something to hold on to. Unfortunately, that something was the ejector seat button, and the 64-year-old man flew from the fighter jet. To make matters worse, he had not securely attached his helmet, which went flying off in midair.
Oh, shit.
Fortunately, the man avoided serious injury after parachuting to Earth in a field near the German border. Investigators concluded that the error was caused by an involuntary reflex prompted by stress and the jet's sudden movement. The pilot was not ejected and managed to land the plane safely, despite suffering some minor facial injuries during the ordeal. The passenger, meanwhile, was taken to a nearby hospital after the flight.
Oh my God.
Can you just imagine your buddies at your company give you this retirement farewell sort of gift, going off gift and everything, that you get to go ride in a freaking fighter jet, right?
Hell yes.
At 2,500 feet up, you eject yourself.
I would not be able to do it. I am so scared of heights. No way.
Oh my God, that is wow. That's gold. That is pure
Makes
gold.
you wonder if that's the only thing he injected.
What?
He probably shit himself too.
Oh my God.
That's just crazy, though.
John, you seem taken aback by this.
Yeah, dude. He didn't pay attention to the pre-flight.
Apparently, somebody missed a safety brief.
I don't think he did.
Have a safety brief.
That's definitely part of it too. Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shite. I don't even know what to say. I'm surprised he lived if his headgear wasn't on properly.
I like Dean Cerny's comment. He says, "See what happens when you drink too many bottles of wine and tell your coworkers that you were a fighter pilot back in Nam. Stolen valor has consequences."
Bruh.
Well, that's the thing. He even said that he had no military experience. So
After the fact,
I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack with his heart rate that high.
Oh, I know. 64 years old. He's shooting between 135 to 145 as far as the heart rate goes.
Yeah, and to be in tetracardea.
tachycardia.
Tachycardia.
That's
tachycardic.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't have a heart attack.
Right. So
he's close. He's lucky that he didn't go into AFib with those with his heart rate the way that it was.
Oh yeah, especially getting freaking launched out of that freaking aircraft from the ejection. You know, that's definitely something that will raise the heart level just a touch.
Red Rocket, come on.
He was strapped to a red rocket. Fucking
Right?
jet.
Fucking took a ride, man. And, yeah, somebody failed his seat check, right? So anyhow, yeah. T says, of course, the Frenchman would be so triggered by a fighter jet, but anyhow, yeah. So moving right along, it is 7:26. So we are coming up on the bottom of the hour here on the West Coast. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to our final roundtable right quick before wrapping this thing up. So, John, you're up first of the shoot. Go, brother.
Yeah. Safety brief time.
Safety brief. Drink safety.
Yes. Okay. So, where do I begin with this one? Don't pull ejection handles that aren't yours. Stay safe if you do, obviously. Don't take away from society. Don't add to society. Latex saves paychecks, yada, 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 all that stuff. Don't be your wives. Don't be your husbands. Weather's getting nice. Get out there, people. Get out and enjoy Mother Nature. The weather's been beautiful, at least out here lately. And go buy a gun. Be nice to your gun dealer, though. And if you're struggling, if you're having bad thoughts and all that stuff, reach out to a battle buddy, reach out to a friend, reach out to a family, reach out to us. We're here.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Please, guys, like, share, and of course subscribe to our YouTube giveaway stuff. Go check out the giveaway video. More stuff to come in the near future. I didn't release anything this week, but there is more stuff coming in the not too distant future, so stand by for that, and make sure you buy a raffle ticket for the G4S rifle.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Right. Mariah.
Be safe out there this week. Make sure you're social distancing. If not, wear a mask. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Yeah, all that stuff that everyone's been preaching. So stay well out there.
All right. High tech.
Ditto and ditto. You guys pretty much got it covered. Just be good, and if you can't be good at it.
By God.
The only other thing I can say is I praise the parents that have to do homeschooling as well.
Right.
That's hard.
I think a lot of them are ready to cash in their freaking retirement, their PERS pensions now. You're like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. So anyhow, thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors up at Eric's Armory as well as Tiny CB Shop for all you guys do to help us keep the lights on, keep these shows going. And thank you to you guys, our viewers. Again, like John said, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so we know when we go live again here on BB Nation Radio, as well as when we upload new content here onto our YouTube channel. And be sure to check out all our social media as well as our homepage of backwoodsvets.com. So I will talk to you guys on Tuesday night over there on the Fence Line Country on the Spreaker app. And in the meantime, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. And have a great week. Talk to you guys later. We love you. J-Dub and crew out.
This has been another episode of BB Nation Radio here on Backwoods Veterans Media.